Stop confusing the Most High with the God of the Bible. I'm going to say it one more time. Stop confusing the Most High with the God of the Bible. See, there's been a great deception over the masses that is carried on for generations by the master manipulators, the powers that were. And these beings had an agenda. They had a vision. They had a plan that they needed to carry out for generations to come in order to maintain their position of power and authority over the people. This master plan has played out in a way where it has been highly effective. In the biblical text, Genesis 22, there is a particular narrative that's played out where Abraham is called to sacrifice his son Isaac. Now, Genesis 22, I'm just going to read a little bit of it. And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell of thee. So he's going to Abraham. They're saying God, right? Like I said, stop confusing God with the Most High, because God can be anyone. You are a God, right? If you step into your godhood, you are a God. You are a goddess. Or there's many different gods that people have created across the four corners of the globe. Anyone can be a God. The powers that were considered themselves to be God. So this God in the Bible spoke to Abraham and said, Go and sacrifice your son Isaac, your son that you love the most. Sacrifice him to show your faithful adherence to me, right? Prove to me that you love me. That's what this God is telling Isaac. Take your son and go and sacrifice him. You all know what sacrifice means. Take his life. Prove it to me. So Isaac takes his son to this mountain, and his son is like, well, Dad, where are we going? Right? And he's like, well, hey, we're going to go and do a sacrifice. And the son is like, well, we don't have anything to sacrifice. And he tells his son, well, God will provide us with the sacrifice. Knowing good and well in the back of his mind, he's getting ready to go up here to take his son's life for the sake of proving his faithfulness, his loyalty to this God. Ultimately, it's said that an angel of the Lord, in all caps, right? Because a Lord is someone who is in a position of authority over others. You have a landlord, right? There are many different ways to define Lord. So again, stop confusing God and Lord with the Most High. So he tells his son, or the angel of the Lord, which is a messenger, right? The messenger of this Lord, this man who is in a position of authority, comes in and says, oh no, we're going to go ahead and give you a lamb to sacrifice instead. You have proven to us that you are loyal. So from there, Abraham goes on to receive all of these blessings and power and different things like that, right? The God, the Lord, said, you're worthy of receiving these things. Is this not the same thing that's been taking place in Hollywood? The same thing that's been taking place in the entertainment industry? The same thing that has been taking place when it comes to the wealthy, the powers that were? Has human sacrifice not been a large tool in their rituals in order to maintain power? Yes, it has been. Shout out to my friend Jessica, who sent me the link to this guy here, who is openly speaking about how he got out of prison. He said it out of his mouth verbatim. I got out of prison, but not without a sacrifice. He said they came to him and they asked him, hey, do you want to get out? And he said, yeah. But there was a cost that he would have to pay in order to do that. And he said the price that he paid was to sacrifice, to take the life of his son. Now, I don't know how he went about doing that. I don't know if it was directly or if it was indirectly. He, called on the hit. But he said out of his mouth that he did that. And he said, hey, wasn't he actually misquoted. He said it was Moses in the Bible. But what he really meant was it was Abraham. He said, well, didn't God give Abraham the opportunity to sacrifice his son? But he didn't take the opportunity. I did. Right? He's bragging about it. No remorse, no grief, no sorrow. Matter of fact, he said out of his own mouth, I can have another son. I can always have another son. But this is the doing of the church. And as much as most people do not want to accept this reality, it is in fact a reality that needs to be addressed. Because too many people have bought into this thought process that the Most High, the creator of all things, the divine source, would think so small to say, show me that you love me. Prove it by killing your child. Now, many people would look at this man right here. If you're a Christian, you should be celebrating this man, right? This guy, 607 Ankh. If you are a Christian, you should be giving him a standing ovation. You know why? Because you said, and your pastor said, that your God is the same today, yesterday, and forever. Did you not say that? Is that not something that you jump for joy when you hear it in the church? You foam at the mouth, you pass out, you gyrate, you do the whole nine. You throw money at the pastor's feet when he says that God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So if this, in fact, is the case, then this man right here that you look at, 607 Ankh, did exactly what the Most High required of him, right? Not the Most High, but God, your Lord. Because again, the Most High and God and Lord is not the same. But people get so caught up in wordplay that they really believe that one book, one text defines the thought process and the ways of the Most High. They've gotten bamboozled and hoodwinked into believing a false narrative that actually validates and praises human sacrifice. This man spoke a truth as wicked and as demonic as it is for him to admit and to have actually carried out that act of sacrificing his own son to get out of prison. Consider this is what he and many other people have been taught directly and indirectly. Because every time a person decides to celebrate the crucifixion, which is human sacrifice, every time you celebrate the crucifixion of what you would call Jesus, and you say, I am absolved of my sins because he was killed for me. But see, y'all say he died for me, because if you said he was killed for me, then that would make you think. If you said it how it happened, then it would make you think, and you would probably not celebrate it, right? You said that he was killed for me. Why? Because God, the Lord, said, I'm going to create him specifically for human sacrifice, so that everybody else that believes in him is now exempt from their own sins, as long as they say, I'm saved in the blood of Jesus. This sacrificial mindset must end. I've spoken about this time and time again, and I'm going to continue to talk about it time and time again until it seeps deep into the subconscious mind, so that you can really take a look at what you are doing and what you are worshiping and what you are celebrating. This has been going on for so long, for hundreds of years. There has been human sacrifice taking place right before our eyes. And the powers that were continue to utilize this particular ritualistic practice because every Sunday there are tons of people who go to church to celebrate it. There are tons of people running around with crucifixions on their necks, crucifixion symbols on their earrings, on their shirts. You know, you name it, people are rocking the crucifixion symbol, the human sacrifice symbol, giving praise to it and saying, I value the murder of this man because it absolves me. You are now partaking in the ritualistic human sacrifice in order to absolve your own karma. And that is what the powers that were have done time and time again. And they continue to do it. And it has continued to remain effective on their behalf because too many people still celebrate it and say that it's okay. So if you are a Christian and you are still acknowledging the crucifixion, the human sacrifice of Jesus, if you are still taking communion and mimicking eating his flesh and drinking his blood, then you should also be giving a standing ovation to this very man right here who has admittingly said that he sacrificed his own son in order to get out of prison. You should not only give him a standing ovation, but you should give that to every single being out here who uses human sacrifice as a way to absolve them of their karma and of their sins. Stop giving praise for this type of behavior. It's time that you stand up and recognize that just because it was written in a book and passed around from one hand to the next to the point where so many people have been brainwashed by it, stop assuming that it is in fact the truth and the words of the Most High. Yes, it is the words of God. It is the words of the Lord, but it is not the words of the Most High. Do your research to understand the difference between God and Lord. These are titles that men take on when they place themselves in a position of hierarchy, in a position of power, in a position of authority. And so the very book that you read is written by those same people who called themselves God, who called themselves the Lord. So that directive that would have been given to Abraham did not come from the Most High, but it in fact came from a man who was in a position of authority that was testing Abraham's loyalty to him. And it continues to happen today in the entertainment industry, in politics, in the government, you name it. Human sacrifice is taking place in order to prove one's loyalty and to determine, are you down for the cause? Are you going to be a rat? Are you going to go snitch? Or are you going to get your hands dirty? Are you going to get the blood on your hands? Are you going to partake of the flesh? Are you going to partake in the drinking of the blood? Are you going to partake in our rituals that we use to absolve our karma? Because if you don't, then you cannot be a part of this secret society. You cannot be a part of this particular cult. And you most definitely cannot possess the authority, the power, the wealth. These are the things that these beings who call themselves gods and lords have been doing for hundreds of years. And their karma has yet to fully play out, because there's still too many people running around with the crucifix on their necks and the blood on their hands. It's time to detach. It's time to go straight to the source, the Most High, and stop playing around with these gods and these lords. It's time to start seeing things for what they are, remove the veil, and stop fooling yourself into believing that this is truly the works of the Most High. Because if you truly believe that the Most High is the same today, yesterday, and forever, then you still believe in human sacrifice. And you can't get mad when you hear a person like this say that they sacrificed their son. You can't get mad when you are seeing situations where people are being outright sacrificed for Hollywood or the entertainment industry or the political structure, or even outright sacrificed in the streets by certain people who want to be jumped in the police cults. Okay, and they're sacrificing melanated men and women and children. You can't get mad about these things and still turn around and give praise for it every Sunday and rock the same crucifix that would have been a representation of human sacrifice. Stop saying that you don't know. Stop saying you didn't get it. Stop saying you never heard from it. Because if you hear this message and you choose to ignore it, that's on you. And I'm not talking to the regular people that are attracted to my channel, because y'all really know what it is. I'm talking to those people who are still the sheeple and the sleeple that's thinking that ignorance is bliss. Those days are done and over with. And a lot of people are not going to like this message, but enough belly rubbing. Belly rubbing days are done. It's time to wake up out of that comfortable slumber and get hit with the hard, cold truth. That's my message for you all. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Share this with someone who needs to hear the truth for what it is. Even if they don't accept it or receive it, they can't say that they didn't hear it. I love you all, and I'll talk to you all next time.